President John Cullerton had some very interesting things to say about Illinois' pension problems. Amongst those things he said was that he wants to shift, of course, the pension liabilities to local school systems. And he also said that he plans to call it to a vote during the veto session in January 2013. And if that sounds a little bit familiar to you, it should, because most people will remember that it was in the veto session just 2 years ago that we woke up the following morning and found out that they had passed a 67% tax increase. Now, all the time, up until that point, when Governor Pat Quinn was running for the seat of governor, we had never heard anything about a 67% tax increase. We had heard the one, maybe at 1%, maybe 1.5%, up to a 50% increase. But we never heard 67%. So it makes you wonder what might be in play for this veto session regarding the pensions. Now, in conservative estimates, the Democrats have said that this will raise local school funding, their budgets, by 6 to 9%. Well, let's take a look at what that means in real dollars. At the Quincy 172 district, that will inflate the budget from a $2.9 million, if it's 6%, up to $4.38 million in additional dollars. That's additional dollars. That's not just an increase. That's the additional dollars out of people's pocketbooks. In Macomb, from $868,000 to $1.3 million is that 6 to 9% increase in additional dollars of spending. And at the Illini West schools, from $150,000 to $228,000 of additional spending that's coming out of the pocketbooks of taxpayers, families, and businesses throughout Western Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, John Sullivan has been at the core of this problem for the past 10 years. He's been in leadership. We expect him to lead. But over the past 10 years, we've seen deferments of payments to pensions, late payments for the school funding, and we've seen borrowing to offset what needed to be paid but was spent elsewhere. This all has to stop. What I'd like to see, and what I believe all the taxpayers of West Central Illinois would like to see, is where John plans to lead. How will he gather support from downstate senators to defeat John Cullerton's plan? He says he's come out and says he's against the plan. John Sullivan has said he's against the plan. I want to know how he plans to lead. Over the past 4 weeks, I've been here and said how I would lead if I'm elected to the state senate. I will start off by not accepting pay increases. I would freeze legislative pay. I will not participate in the pension program. The state pension program is funded. I don't believe state legislators should participate at all in the pension program. And I believe in transparency in government. I have made that statement, that I believe anything that, certainly any legislation that affects your pocketbook, should pass the test of 24 hours on the floor before it's voted on. Again, I would like to see some leadership come out of our current state senator. I would like to know what he plans to do to defeat John Cullerton's initiative, and I want to know what he has in store for us on the taxing, the pay increases, the pension for state legislators, and transparency in government. Thank you very much.
Questions?
Rakisha Fallon, the press secretary for John Cullerton, says John Cullerton did not mention the lame duck session at all in the Chicago Tribune editorial board, that was mentioned by a reporter writing about that there couldn't be a vote before January, according to Senator Cullerton.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, she said he never said lame duck. Is there something that she's wrong about, that there's a transcript that shows that, or?
No, I do not know of a transcript that shows that. Looking at past history and looking at what happened 2 years ago, I would connect the dots and was thinking that if he's going to call the vote, he's going to call it in the lame duck session that comes up in January of 2013. That's what we have to be aware of. That's what we have to be considerate of. And that's what we need to have a plan for, if in case it does come up at that time.